October was a heavy spend month. I made $7,800, spent $4,900, invested $4,600, and saved $0. Let's get into the details. So I made $7,800, and that's the amount I make in my 9-to-5 regularly, so no surprise there. I spent $4,900, which we will get to in a second. I invested $4,600, which is slightly above what I was investing earlier in the year, and this is because I'm now doing monthly contributions to my IRA. And then I saved $0, which was a mistake. I meant to automate my savings for my car or future car, and that's $200 a month. However, I didn't automate it, but now it's automated, so we're good. So at a high level, my financial to-dos, I basically didn't do any of them, which is really sad. And I didn't do them before this video, which is even more sad. But yeah, booked the Salt Lake City rental car. I just need to like sit down and do it. I was doing some research on different prices, and also I want an SUV that has all-wheel drive. And so I don't know the best way to ensure that it has all-wheel drive, because one company says all-wheel drive and then the other one doesn't, but it says like the car is like a Ford Explorer or something, Ford Focus, something like that. And it's like this other one, but it doesn't say all-wheel drive guaranteed. So I'm like, do I risk it? I can't remember what the price difference was, but there was a price difference, which is why I hesitated on just booking the rental. So TBD on that. And then buy a workout outfit. I just pushed that to Black Friday. There's a certain pair of shorts that I want, and they weren't in stock, and I'm hoping that they stock it for Black Friday. / maybe they're stocked now. I don't know. Buy a workout outfit. Service my car. Again, I'm going to try to do that in November, probably next week, maybe. And then put the doors on my closet and my mirror up. That's not gonna happen. It may not even happen this year. It may not happen till like April, just because I'll be out of town a lot and I have to coordinate with my neighbor to see when he's available to do it. So that's just not on the docket for the foreseeable future. And then send savings to IRA, which I did too. Yeah, monthly financial goals wasn't great, but that's okay. So regarding my October spending, I spent $4,900, which is a lot. I think monthly average is like $3,000, which I'll do a whole video on my annual review, but I believe it's about, I looked earlier, and at least 6 of the months I was under $3,000, and then the other months I was over. This is obviously a month that I'm over. Yeah, it was just a heavy spend month, and I'm glad. I felt like it was a heavy spend, and I'm glad the numbers reflect that versus me not being able to like perceive how much I'm spending. But where did that money go? So I spent about $1,000 on health and fitness, which again, I still don't like this category name and like the subcategories in it, so I'm trying to figure out something else for next year. For health and fitness, I paid for my eye doctor appointment, which is another thing that I'm going to be doing in 2025, is actually paying for things out of pocket and then reimbursing myself from my HSA in 10 years or sometime in the future, so that I can just invest all my HSA money now. But yeah, I paid for my eye doctor appointment out of pocket, and then I also paid for facials. It was a package of 3 or 4 facials for $500, which is, facials are just expensive, but those contributed to the $1,000 of spending on health and fitness. And then I'm like, should facials be under health? So I have to redo this category and really think hard about how I'm going to do that for 2025. And then I spent $500 on fun, which at first I was like, but I did in a couple of videos back say that I wanted to spend more on fun, and at $500 was how much I allocated for that. And so it is okay. About 400 of it was for an Etsy shop design. So one of the businesses, it's one of the line items. I don't ever talk about it, but I'll probably start talking about it in 2025. But getting that design done was about $400. So that's where fun came in. And then I spent $1,000 on food, which that's just too much. It's too much. I think that's the most I've ever spent on food in 1 month. Even like last year when I was spending 800 plus. Too much. But 500 of that was for other people. So I had a friend who had a birthday in October, and so paid for that meal, and that was bougie meal. But then also we had our team Thanksgiving. I was gonna say team Thanksgiving, but that was in November. That was last week. So let me check this. Most of it, and then I did go out to dinner with my mom, and I think that was in October as well. and I paid for that meal. So me spending $500 on food for others, typically my budget is $7,500 is $75, so $500 is way more, but also most months I haven't been spending that. So it might actually net out to, over the year, be $75 per month, but $500 on others is a lot. And then I also have another $500 for bills, and most of that was to pay for my financial advisor. And so that's just, it's like it's 500 it's 500 a quarter, and so October 1st was the beginning of a new quarter, so that was a fee that I paid. So if you add all of those up, that's about $3,000. $1,000 on health and fitness, $500 on fun, $1,000 on food, and $500 on bills. So that $3,000 plus my normal about $2,000 is how you get to that $4,900 spend in 1 month. So I will say it was a high spend month, and the good thing about budgeting and keeping track of it is that when I'm trying to retire early. So when I'm planning for retirement, I use certain numbers, but now I have a better idea of like, okay, $5,000 is a high spend month for me apart from travel. And so that's just a good anchor for me. So if normally it's $3,000, $5,000 is the high end. Maybe my retirement number should be based on like $4,000 a month spend. Also healthcare and all that stuff factored in separately, but in general, it's good to see what the high end. That's like part of the whole point of budgeting and planning for retirement is how much is like a lot. Like I don't anticipate this month being that high or next month being that high. $5,000 in a month with no travel purchases at all is a lot. And then moving on to November. So currently I'm about $1,000 over budget, supposedly for November, but I do have wiggle room in my checking account because of other months where I was way under budget. That buffer, at the end of the year, I was just gonna dump it all into my brokerage account. Ideally, there would be something to dump and my spending for November and December wouldn't be so crazy, but TBD, it can be covered. I'm not going into debt. $1,000 is kind of a lot, and I want to get back to trying to budget like $2,500 a month consistently, apart from travel. But also part of the $1,000 is like my car maintenance. I had to pay for my Chase credit card. The annual fee is in November, I believe. That's already hit. So stuff like that, like it's annual stuff / quarterly stuff, that's all just hitting in November. That $1,000 over budget does not include Black Friday spending, which I'm not a big shopper in general, and I'm not a big Black Friday shopper, but most of the stuff that I have was purchased on Black Friday, at least clothes wise. All of the stuff, like I've been wanting sheets for like 5 months, and it's like I can't afford to buy $100 sheets, but I haven't. And so Black Friday is just the time to do it. Like if it's not like a crazy low price, that's okay. I just like, that's probably another reason why a lot of my stuff is from Black Friday, is because I'm just like, okay, I waited too long, let me just buy it now. So anyways, that Black Friday spending would probably be another $1,000, but I still have wiggle room in my checking account to cover that, so I should be okay. And also the big headline for November is that my savings rate is still about 50%, and so because of that, I'm less concerned about how much I'm like spending, as long as I'm still investing that like $4,000 plus of my income. So it's a somewhat normal month. I will be spending extra on Black Friday, and then I have those subscriptions and all that stuff that will be coming out this month. But then also, I think I can cut back on my subscriptions, like CapCut. I might be able to cut back because Apple just released a new version of Final Cut Pro, which does what I was paying CapCut for, it does like the background removal stuff. And so TBD if I can cancel CapCut. And I also might be able to cancel another subscription because again, Final Cut Pro now has the ability to do something that I was paying another subscription for. And then also, I can't remember if I said it in this video, in the last video, but new development, I've canceled Kindle Unlimited. I canceled it, I believe in October, I believe. So, or maybe it was September, I'm not sure, but cutting back on the subscriptions. Overall, in general, if my savings and investment rate are over 25%, I'm not too concerned, and especially if they're over 50%, and then the goal is 70%. I don't think I ever would want to go higher than that because I'm like, you got to spend the money. So if I'm sitting at about 50% investment and savings rate for November, the extra spending is fine by me. So that is my October spending and November budgets. I will be making a couple videos. One will be my annual review of all my numbers and seeing what insights I can gain from that. And the other will be comparing my budget to Ramit Sethi's conscious spending plan, which I think will be very interesting to see how my numbers stack up. But with that, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.